Hi everyone, welcome to Introduction to Programming with Python. This is lecture 5. In this lecture we are discussing Boolean values, operators, logical, binary and relational, and also talk about chained comparison. Let's look at what relational operators in Python are. So these are conventional symbols used to compare expressions or values. The outcome of these operators is usually a Boolean value, which is either true or false. If you look at this table, the very first operator on your left is used to compare either two values or two expressions. For example, if two values are equal, this should return true, otherwise this should return false. Similarly, the second operator is called the not equal to operator, and that is used to compare again either two values or two expressions, and it returns a true only when two values are not equal. Right, so let's look at some examples to make sure what that means. I have created two variables, x equals 3, and let me create y equals 3 as well. Right? Let me open another console so that we start afresh. And let's create x equals 3, y equals 3 in Spider. And then I want to see if x equals y or not. Yes, x is equal to y because both have the value 3. Now I can use the not equal to operator as well here, and this should return false because this is not true. X is equal to y, it's not equal to y, right? Which is why I get this value as false. Let me update the value of y to 5 and then reassign it. And then now let's check if x not equals y. And this is true because x is 3 and y is 5. Similarly, we have other operators, the greater than equal to or less than equal to operator, and we can see what the result for those are. So this is false because obviously x is less than y, and so this should return true for us, and so on. Right, so these are relational operators. Next, we move on to logical or binary operators. So let's see what these are. So there are three types of binary or logical operators in Python. These are and, or, and not. And the outcome again of each of these is a Boolean value. By a Boolean value, I mean either a true or a false, which is why we say Boolean is an object type in Python. And I'll come to the details of what an object type is in Python later on. But for now, it's just important for all of you to remember that Boolean is nothing but a logical value. It either should have a true or a false. Okay, so that's what Boolean value is. So going back to our logical or binary operators, we have the AND operator, the OR operator, and the NOT operator. So let's see what these actually mean. So going back to that slide here, if I have values stored in variables p or q, or if I have expressions stored in variables p and q, and if I'm trying to AND p and q, if I'm trying to find the outcome of p and q, this is how this works. So the AND operator requires both p and q to be true for the result to be true, as you can see in the table. So if p is true and q is true, then only the AND is true. For all the rest of the cases, it's false. The way the OR operator works is slightly different in the sense that it requires just one value or one expression out of the two, which is like p and q here, to be true. As you can see in this table, and these are called truth tables. So as you can see in these tables, if either one of p or q is true, the outcome p or q comes out to be true. And then the NOT operator, what it does is it simply inverts the outcome. So if you have something true and you're saying not and that expression, it will result in a false, right? So let's go and look at some examples to make sure what I mean. Let's consider this expression. I know that 2 is less than 3, right? And I'm trying to find an AND between 2 less than 5. So both are true, right? This is P for me and this is Q, right? And I'm trying to find an AND. As you can see, the outcome on the right hand side is true, which obviously should be the case because both are true. Let me make one of them false. 2 is less than 1, which is obviously false. And let's keep this 2 less than 5 only. Then run this. And this gives me this result as false, right? But what happens if I, instead of saying and, I say or? So in this case, I get a true because the requirement for or is that I should have one of either P or Q to be true, right? So that's why I get the outcome as or. Similarly, there is this not operator. So not simply inverts whatever I have. Let's go to the definition first. So not is the logical operator that inverts the truth value. For example, not true will return false and vice versa. Something is true. Let's say I know that 2 is less than 5. I know this is true, right? And I'm using the not operator before this. Okay, so it's a small typo. Let me get rid of that and then run it. So I know that 2 is less than 5, so this returns a true value, but I'm saying not, so this should return a false. So it simply inverts whatever I have after the not. So that's another logical operator in Python. So we've talked a little bit about operators today. I also wanted to talk about chained comparison. So there is another way of writing these and or statements, and that's called chained comparison. For example, if I have a variable x and we know that it's less than y and it's less than equal to some other variable z, right? This could also be written as x less than y and y less than equal to z. So both are legal in Python is what I'm saying. And this is giving me a yellow line there because z does not exist, so it's looking for z. So both are completely legal. I can do a comparison of y with x and with z together in a single line, or I can break that up and use an and this is called a chained comparison. Another example, a quick example would be, let's say x is 5 and then I'm trying to find if this is true or not. So this is another way of writing this chained comparison. So whether x lies between this or not. And this should also give me a true or a false value because I'm using some form of operators here, right? So let me do that. Right? And then this returns a true, as you can see on your right hand side, right? Similarly, I can test if this value lies between 20, and obviously it does not, and so it should give me a false, and yes it does, as you can see. Another way of writing, and this is again completely legal in Python, to write two operators like this, and this is fine, that I'm trying to check whether x is less than 10 and x is less than equal to 9, and this returns a true, and so on. So this was about chained comparison, relational operators, and binary or logical operators in Python. See you in the next lecture where we'll talk about object types in Python. Thank you.